boisterous cubs, ever charming, cuddling appeal.
The podcast will now commence in 3,
As adults, however,
2, 1.
are daunting.
You're tuned in to the Barely a Dad podcast, hosted by Josh Hernandez and Manny Peralta, a show about two dads with their own families, still trying to figure it all out.
What up, Mama Papa Bears? No, do you want to start like that or no?
Yeah.
No, I feel like this is such a weird way to start. They're probably like, did they even know that they started or not?
No. Like we know we started, but
I know, but that was such a crazy.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, like we just spent like 7 minutes just like
We said we
figuring
didn't. Yeah,
out- we started 7 minutes ago and nothing happened because we were looking for something. Now we're here. Now we're here.
I was saying we should start over, but
No, we're
This is
good.
it.
We're here. Yeah.
this got started up awkward. Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares?
Deal with it, guys. Well, whatever. What up, Mama and Papa Boss? Oh my gosh. Oh, you're gonna have to cut that. What up, Mama and Papa Bears? I'm Josh.
Not Manny.
Today you're listening to the Barely Dad podcast.
The Barely a Dad podcast.
All right. What a crazy intro. Well, anyways,
We've had a lot to talk about this morning.
and that's the thing, dude. We keep talking.
Yeah.
So like we were like, oh, dude, you just need to turn it on
There's
or
been
turn
like
it off.
seven. There's been
We
like
haven't talked-
7 episodes that have happened before this camera turned on. Basically.
Yeah. And then you know we just catch up because we haven't talked to each other in a while too. So, anyways, but I just want to say, dude, I went to El Salvador, and El Salvador is pretty dope. I don't know if you've ever do you know anything about El Salvador? You're okay. What are you?
Human.
No, like your not personality. What? Yeah. Where are you from? Heritage.
My mom was born in. I'm thinking about it. Ecuador. Sorry.
Ecuador. I was wondering. I didn't know it was in Honduras.
My dad was born in Nicaragua. So
Where's-
I'm Hispanic, but like
So
South
it's also
American.
Central.
Central
American.
Yeah,
Okay.
Central American.
So yeah, El Salvador is pretty similar. It's close to Honduras.
Yeah.
And whatever.
A lot of similar like aspects. Like they have like they don't speak Quechuan, right? Is that a language? I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's a dialect in Ecuador.
Okay, so it's like
that
one of
they speak up like the more indigenous tribes speak it.
in the mountains and stuff like that.
I don't know a whole lot about that. I've been to Ecuador one time, so
Well,
like
see how he doesn't really know much about himself? I didn't know anything about myself.
so you got to
about
go
my
back to your roots.
Exactly.
There you go.
So that's what this was. So it was sick. So El Salvador, I mean, if I ever asked my parents about it, it was kind of like just a very short. It was never like, they never explained too much or they were just never went to details. So I ended up finding out that, well, El Salvador has been like almost oppressed by like multiple gangs for a long time. So like back in the day when my parents were there, it was like the guerrillas. So it was just the military versus like the rebellion. And like, so my parents grew up when there was a lot of like gunfire, a lot of like just out of nowhere, because then people would just start fighting.
Right.
And then it's crazy because now that I've been there, like the mountains and stuff, it's almost like, you know how you see those pictures of like Thailand and stuff that like mountains just go straight up. Like there's just no, it just goes boom. So there are so many of those like, crevices, volcanoes there.
Crevasses.
That like, that's where you would never go in those areas either. Cause then it was always military or the guerrilla people, like, so it'll be, and if you get caught, you're one side or the other side. There's no like in between. So it was just always like that. Like if we even asked like our cousins that lived there, like, hey, we should come visit. They're always like, we don't recommend coming over here.
So that it's like painted as like this bad thing.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, it was bad. And then so then that was back in the day, and because of all that, think of all the adolescents that grew up with no parents. And that's where like MS-13, that's where the gangs infiltrated, came in.
So MS-13
rapid
is
fire.
So
Rapid fire.
Because MS-13 isn't that something that was in Los Angeles?
No, they're Salvadorian, and they started going to Los Angeles. That's their dude. And over there, it's like they're like, there's no joke. Like it's like they'll just chop you up. There's no plain and simple. So now the new president's been there. I think
In El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yeah.
So this new president's been there that apparently all the Central American people have been talking about. He's been doing very well and everyone likes him. He just won his election, not to be like talking about politics, but it was like 85% like people like voted for him.
Okay.
So
It's
this
different.
guy-
It's different there than in America, bro.
dude, so
Yeah.
this guy, El Salvador's finally people are starting to go look at it because he literally cleaned up everyone.
Right.
Like if you look sketchy, straight to jail. Like it's like that meme, the one that's like drive too
Right.
fast, go to jail. Like, but the dude's like, He just wants to clean everything off. He made one of the biggest like jail cells. So there's like
promoting like more
like thousands of
tourism essentially. Like
Pretty
if you
much.
clean up a place that's beautiful or has its own aspects of beauty, then you're gonna have more tourists that come, and tourists come with money.
dude.
Yeah.
So you know,
That's a beautiful segue.
yeah. So so it was just like
Yeah.
all these roads, buildings, like they're just like
Totally not
developing.
what you like expected.
Well, no, yeah, yes and no, because there's still like El Campo. There's still like
aspects
ranch,
of it.
but you can see how it's like a developing country. Like it's coming along, you know.
Mhm.
But now it's like, you know, talking to my family, they're like, oh, it's night and day difference. Like everyone there, like it's all civilians. It's all just family. It's all people that finally out. Everyone's going out, and now like even for us flying this time over there, like that the first time we went it was more Spanish people. This time we flew was just a bunch of random people.
Everyone looked like me when
everyone-
I went to Ecuador.
Yeah,
They literally all
the
looked
first
like
time
me.
I went
Like
there
the
last
nose,
year, it was
everything.
the same exact thing.
Everyone, I'm just like,
You're
but I was
"Oh,
like,
my
I was like the
people."
tallest one.
Yeah.
I was like the tallest one though. It was
Right?
really funny.
Yeah. So similar. So yeah. So similar on that. That's just now it's becoming a lot more tourist. So this time,
That's really cool, actually.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, me and my brother, we went last year with all our cousins from California, and they're all older than me, and none of us have ever gone. So it was a cool trip for all of us to go over there. But then this time we ended up returning, and I went just with my dad. It was my dad and my brother. So
Just an all dudes trip.
yeah, it was just
Nice.
dad and bro, and it was awesome. Like, dude, we went like had no itinerary. We're just like, all right, we're gonna do this.
Isn't that great?
and that's
Just
it.
like no itinerary.
Yeah, simple.
I've been trying to live my life like that a little bit more. Just like I have to schedule some stuff.
Well,
but
yeah,
like,
I mean, clearly,
yeah, but like
but I know what you. Yeah, I know.
Like,
what you
just like a little bit like, okay, well, bedtime. I know we go to bed at about this time, but like other things can happen too. So like having that no itinerary mindset is, I think, very healthy. As you
Yeah.
can't do it all the time, but it's really healthy to have.
But yeah, so it's crazy because like every parking lot, every like big building or like, you know, mall, there's security guards and like cops everywhere. And like everyone's always strapped to the gill. They're just like, everyone has a big piece on them, just chilling. And it's so funny because I remember that when we went, like Virginia was
Dang.
kind of like, you know, back like last year when we went, Virginia was kind of like off easy by that. But by day 3, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. No one's gonna rob me here because like Don Pablo is just waiting to make an example of somebody. You know, like he's
Don Pablo.
like yeah, like that guy he's right there, just like, hola señor, ¿cómo está todo? I'm like, oh, everything's good, blah blah blah.
I'm doing
Que
awesome.
tenga buen día, que tenga buen día. Like that, and he's just holding the piece right there. I was like, dude,
I will
yeah,
have a
no
great
one,
day.
yeah, no one, dude. He's there. Like so it seems pretty extreme, and like even like military, like when like houses, like I saw like certain like roadways, like highways, if they're getting worked on, like to make sure no one's like messing with them or slowing them down, like there'll be like military people around just to like, so they're very like, dude, a pothole, an hour, it's already done, cleaned up, boom, boom, boom. Here,
Wow.
here you
You hear that, Florida?
Have fun, yeah, have fun. Like,
You
but
hear
over there,
that?
dude, just like that.
A pothole gone in an hour.
Easy. But it was pretty cool. Just that the food.
Sorry, I hit the mic.
No, you're good, dude. And like the food. Dude, you know about the pupusas?
Yo, okay, so my first time having
Yo.
pupusas, it was life changing, and I'll tell you why it was life changing. Because back in what year was it?
Dude, all these Puerto Ricans here are like, oh, check out my pernil. Oh, check out, bro.
Don't worry about it, bro.
Pupusas,
this is Central.
dude.
This is Central American stuff. It's
Get your empanadas out of here,
this
bro.
is a completely different thing.
Pupusas.
Nothing against empanadas
Nothing
and
against
Puerto Rican
them.
food and all that kind of stuff, traditional stuff, whatever. It's fine. I love it all. But there's something about Central American food that's just a little bit different, right? I don't know if this is different, but like my grandpa used to make like peanut butter soup with tripe in it.
What?
Sheep stomach.
Yeah, no, I know
With, like,
tripe
peanut-
is.
with like potatoes.
You said
It was-
peanut butter?
It's like a peanut butter base, like a peanut butter, like there's peanut butter in it. Or
Kind of like
peanuts-
a
peanuts
a
in it.
curry, kind of like peanut buttery thingy going in there.
Yeah, kind of like a
Not
curry.
peanut butter.
No, peanut butter.
Oh, so like he just like
There's peanut butter in it. And it's like a curry. It's like nutty
I'm
and
listening,
warm,
I'm
and
listening.
then you get the sheep stomach. It's good. All right, so
Sheep
pupusas, right? That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
Central American food is just like a
they're different. Yeah, it
it's
is
a different level,
but
right?
They,
So
they,
then
they eat everything.
I really hope that like Central American food is what it's referred to as, but pupusas. We were in North Carolina. What year?
North Carolina?
That's the first time I had it.
That
no, First time I had it was.
Oh, that's right, because you had it from my grandma.
But did I?
Dude,
have,
that was like 20.
No, but did I have it at your house one time when we were like just
Maybe because my mom makes them.
like before I? Okay, well the time I remembered is when your grandma was prepping them like the day before. Like the night we got.
It takes like days to. All right, so
Oh my gosh, dude!
All
it
right,
was.
this is what I'm. Wait, look, before he goes on to this, because I want to hear this. Pupusa is it's think of like a corn tortilla, like a Mexican thick corn tortilla. So it's usually corn, or they can do rice also. But inside of it, so they'll pretty much get chicharrón, which is like a meat, like shredded meat, or they'll put like cheese, and the cheese has like loroco, which is kind of like a Spanish like little like almost like a spice, I guess. But they wrap it up together, and then they put the whole, like they make the tortilla, get the stuffing, put it in the middle of it, make it into a ball, roll it up, flatten it down, boom. So then when you eat it, in the inside of it, like the cheese is just oozing. Like it's top tier. Literally, I don't think anyone that I've showed this food to, and like I remember in high school, like people will come over to my house, listen to like my parents, or like, and we're eating, and they'll make something, and everyone said this is so good. Everybody will think that slap. So pupusa's top tier. If you guys want to go Salvador just for that, just go for that. I think that alone is it's freaking awesome stuff.
Dude,
but
that's what I'm saying. Like pupusas, when it was,
and they put the curtido on top, which is kind of like a coleslaw. So it's kind of like
yes,
like shredded cabbage,
it's like
and
kind of like
carrots,
like lemony almost.
Yeah, it's like vinegary.
Okay, so dude,
Oh,
that
bro, I'm getting hungry already.
It was so.
I think I have a pupusa. It's still in the dude.
We're fighting each other for that.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool because we had a good drive. We rented the Ford, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember you were driving. It was such a chill, just everything about it was
The
chill.
picture's up there, dude.
Yeah, I remember. And we got to your grandma's house. I don't know if it was that night. I think it was that night we arrived and we started eating.
Yeah.
But dude, that stuff, it was so warm and friendly and like good. And I love pupusas. I don't get to eat them often.
And like here, that's the thing. It's like
you don't get it like your grandma makes it.
Yeah, no, you can't. And here's the crazy part. And this is
she
how
was
I
like making it with her hands.
And this is how I know
serving
it's
like it was just like it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like over there, clearly they make them like everywhere. It's like the street food. Like you can get it anywhere. Pupusas, they make them like even at the hotel. Complimentary breakfast downstairs if you were in a hotel. Like, yeah, you're eating whatever, but just write it down. There's a pupusa lady in the back just making them also. Yeah. So like they're pupusas all day over there. We brought some back, and I guess
on the plane?
Yeah, brought some frozen.
Oh yeah.
So we brought some back, and I've been eating them. I think I have one more left. I didn't know you. So apparently you can't bring meat over, because like it's like a, what is it called? Export, I guess. So it's like it's just some meat from a different area. I don't know, but laws, you can't do that.
Oh my god. There's
and
a
then
law
so
for
I
everything.
didn't get any with the chicharrón. But then I was like, so we just got just cheese and like beans and stuff. But then my dad brought a fish.
What?
He brought a frozen fish.
Can you bring alcohol though?
No. I think once you get on a duty free, like when you get to somewhere, then you can buy it from there from a duty free. But I think you can fly with it then. So like you have to go to the terminal, pass blah blah blah, and then in there they sell bottles. So that you can you can buy there and fly with that.
If you got it from like a shop there, you couldn't.
Yeah,
just
they
do
wouldn't.
that.
I don't think they'll let you just bring it over. But then and then I saw my dad brought a frozen fish that he just shoved in the backpack, and I was like, yeah. They didn't tell him anything.
They went through security and
they
stuff
looked
without
at him,
that?
and then my dad even told like, do you have anything they had to claim? My dad's like, yeah, I have a fish, and the guy's like, yeah, I think you're fine, and just let him go. So now next time I go over there, I'm definitely bringing back the chicharrón. But like, I was even thinking I should do. Hear me out, guys. If you guys want me to do this, I'll do it. I'll get a GoPro, and then I'm planning on going to meet my aunt, and then because like my grandma is like 93. No, 90. No, she's 96. Oh my god. So she's old. So she can't make them anymore. But she used but it's all about making the material.
Grandma.
Yeah, Mama's 96, dude. I think she's turning 97 this year. And if you ask her, are you going to see 100? She'll be like, oh, see.
I just remember freaking her out when I was like 10 years ago when I was in the bathtub.
This guy passed out in my bathtub because, he was a good influence at the time. And then my grandma was sleeping over. And then like, we're all having a good time. We had some friends over, and this guy, he's just passed out in the bathtub. And then my grandma comes in, like, looks at him. He's just,
What was
all right.
what was funny was I was actually asleep. I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Because everything else, there was nowhere else to sleep. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep in here.
bonkers. But making the material, that alone takes like, to make the chicharrón, like all the meat takes time.
Oh yeah.
Prepping the cheese takes time. So like I talked to my
so
aunt,
good.
and my aunt's like, all right, if you want to do it, because I explained to her, I'm like, listen, if you die, sorry, but if you die, that's it. There's no more pupusas. Like grandma can't make them anymore because she's way too old. And the only one that knows how to prepare the meat is my aunt, because my mom can't prepare the meat. I think she can do cheese.
Did you force her to like teach you?
So that's what I'm gonna tell her. I already talked to her, and she was like, "I'm down." So I'll just get a GoPro and just go with her.
Yeah.
Go with her, like
Do like a cooking show.
Because even buying the meat, it's a specific meat. That's why she tells me you need to come with me so I can show you what part of the meat to buy. Like you don't just buy any steak. So she's like, "This is what you're trying to look for," and then that alone, then we'll cut it up. And then we'll prepare that one day, and the next day we'll prepare the cheese. So
we'll
like
eat it on
and
the
then
podcast.
Oh, dude, I think it's a good idea. I think
That's a great idea.
But ultimately too, just for me to document how to make that stuff, because legitimately my aunt passes. My mom can make them physically, like if she has the material.
Yeah.
But if she kicks the bucket, dude, that's it. We lost our plug.
Dang, bro.
And all the pupusas here are just not. The thing is that the cheese, they try to make it, it's almost like too mozzarella, so it just tastes like a pizza. So it's not the same. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but if
Or
you
like
want to try one of my
a
aunt's pupusas, dude, let me know. She sells them, so like
Yeah.
she's legit. But we tried that. There's some like crazy fruits. There was one that was called a caimito that was like
Ooh,
purple,
weird.
and then like you open it up and it just looks like it's out of this world. It's like white, but it's almost translucent.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's almost like think of like a kumquat. Have you had a kumquat? Like the little orange things on trees here that you see that, and then you can pick them off and then they just fall and they dry. But like you never seen you've seen a kumquat.
Probably.
Yeah, they're so it's the same thing. You peel the skin off and it's just almost like a translucent skin, but then this is all white and then the seeds are far inside. So like the way you eat it, you're just kind of like it's such a weird, it looks like you shouldn't be eating this, but like it tastes almost like watermelon, like mango-y. I don't know. It was wild. That, and then there's another called sapote, which is like a hairy, almost like it looks like an avocado, but it's just like super brown and hairy, but you open it up and it's purple and it's orange inside.
Like a kiwi almost?
I guess, but just longer. So it looks like that little potato looking, it's like almost like that potato looking shape. And then you open it up and it's like, it looks like the inside looks like sweet tomato, like sweet potato.
So you guys were just like going to like, you're
I was just trying everything.
Did you do like a lot of walking and stuff?
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
So like all that food was great. And then, we went to volcanoes, like to do hikes. We saw this one place called, we did a hike on Los Chorros de la Calera, which was like, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or not, but I posted like a video of it, of just kind of like the falls. Mm-hmm. And dude, something about hiking and those, like, it is just the next level. Like, yes, you're talking and everything, and like me, and like, my family's there and we're all communicating, but it was just interesting how like certain points, that dead quietness, like among all of us, everyone's like, because you're just at awe, like, yeah. And then you talk to the guide, and then the guide is like, even himself, he's happy because he's like, these are places that people knew of, but like you wouldn't even dare going to it because it's just like you don't want to get caught up and you don't want to die for no reason. So like he's like, it's just so happy to see you guys, because like finally we're seeing people come back to the country. Finally we're seeing finally we're seeing, so it's helping us out, helps me out.
And I think it's great that like, because you've had like, I don't know if it's recent, I think you've always loved the outdoors, but like I know you've been doing like more walking, more hikes and stuff like that. Like that's something that's like I resonate with, because
dude, it's so much fun. We're gonna start doing more.
To see these really beautiful places of the world, like you got to be able to walk to get there.
Yep,
that's something that Magic Mind's been helping me out with a lot. Is not only the energy, but then also because of like my knees and stuff like that, joints in general. Like as you get older, like your joints get a little bit achy. And I've really been enjoying the Magic Mind because it's clean energy that I'm getting. I feel like lubricated almost, because I know that I'm getting like the lion's mane, which helps with the inflammation.
Inflammation all day on that, dude. That's where you suffer, man.
Yeah, and it's quick and it's easy to just like throw back. Like I don't reach for coffee right away in the morning, right? when I reach for that, I know that like I'm putting something good in my body first, rather than just like chugging back like a Red Bull or something like
It's a
that.
healthier alternative habit.
Because Red Bull and stuff like that's gonna like inflame your entire body.
Nope.
This is just like it's just a little small thing, and you'll get more benefits as you continue to drink it. It's these little decisions that you make, like taking Magic Mind with all the nootropics and all that kind of stuff.
Especially with your schedule, man. Because like you're literally, you have to focus in.
Right.
And like literally, I'm so blown away how like, waking up so early and you're knocking out all of your things. But I know where your cheat code is that because literally I'm about it.
It really has been helping a lot
yeah.
of just the convenience of it, the ingredients, the clean energy. Like I've just been really enjoying that. So if you guys want to feel the same thing, go ahead and visit magicmind.com/barelyadad. Use code barelyadad20 to get 56% off your first subscription or 20% off your first order. It's been on Joe Rogan. We say that a lot. He's kind of like our podcast stepdad.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. 56% off. That's more than half. Come on, like,
100% money back guarantee as well.
Deal
they can also refund you in 3 to 4 hours because
I don't know how they do that. That makes they're adamant about that. You guys, when we say they're adamant, they're like, dude, we can refund in 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, all right, cool.
I'm like, okay, awesome.
Hey,
yeah,
boom.
Again,
I haven't had a reason to return it, but hey.
Yeah. It's been really great. So if you guys, again, if you're interested, magicmind.com/barelyadad, use code barelyadad20, 56% off your first subscription or 20% off your first order. Thanks for sponsoring this episode.
Thanks for the sponsorship on that.
Walking, you were saying,
dude. All right, so
lots of walking, lots of traveling because you're traveling up to these different places.
So now it's like I don't know how I didn't even know how to explain it or say it, but I've just like how we're cool.
Yeah.
And like how like I've met older people and I've got to know them, beyond what I get to know them. So like I had this realization, like I love my dad, but my dad's just my dad. But if you ask me like what is he personally, personally,
as a person,
yeah, exactly. I'll be like, like he's cool, but like I never I thought about it because I'm like, I moved out pretty young, and then like I just, he just always was dad, and that was it. But I never went back to like really try to
see him as a person.
Exactly. And then now, like, it's almost like Alice. I swear to God, dude, having this kid like kind of just leveled everything out perspective on me. That now I see how like, all right, so my parents are just people that try their best.
Yeah.
With us, and then now I know what their circumstances are. My mom lived over here. My dad lived over here. This is all they had. They came to the States and, they provided what me and my brother have. So like, it brings more realization of all that. And then,
so you got to spend that one-on-one time
with my dad. And I was just like, and I talked to my brother and I was like, yo, this would be sick if we do this. Cause dad's still, I think he's like 60, mid 60s. And he's like, he still moves. And like, I'm like, hey,
mid 60s.
I think so.
My dad's going to turn 60 soon.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, if there's any time to do anything like this,
it's now.
It's now. I'm like, we all have the money to do it. We all have the time. Let's just go ahead and just do it right now. And it was the best thing ever, man. It was just cool seeing, like, just how you can see, I guess, me and Virginia together. But then if you just hang out with me personally, it's like, it's not a different experience, but it's just more like I'm like, just even like just more charismatic, I guess. Same thing with my mom, because like my dad, this whole trip made me realize how I'm like almost like my dad. Dude, my dad, like, he talks a lot, he jokes around a lot. Like sometimes he doesn't read the room, but he normally does. But it was just like things of seeing him, how he interacts with family, and like, not having like my mom next to him to be like, oh, you can't say that, blah blah blah. Like, like just having no. Like just loose cannon pops,
unhinged,
dude.
Unfiltered.
Dang, dude, it was just
get him on the podcast.
Yeah, it was just so cool seeing him talk like that because I was just out of the natural. Like, I didn't really, just hey, what kind of beers do you want? Like, what kind of drink do you want? What kind of this? Blah blah blah. And
what do you like?
Then started asking him questions about his like youth because that's what I was mostly interested about. Like, yo, what did you do? Like, where did you hang out? And he's like, oh, I did this, and we used to go here. But like, I guess finally able to like. Get him talking about him in El Salvador because like again it was just
a place that he was brought up.
Yeah. And it was seeing him interact with his brothers because I knew all these people but like just through photos like and then like my brother knew them more because he's older than me and they had a couple interactions before but I was so young that like it just sucked because I knew their family and their cousins, but I just never had a time to just and it was just weird. I wouldn't just FaceTime them because I don't really know them and we're all this old now. But just seeing all of them and then like interacting and finally seeing them in, like face to face, giving them hugs, it just showed like, holy cow, this is like another side of my family that again I didn't grow up with, and it's just a bunch of love over here. But then seeing how the traits that like how my family traits that I'm like
you came from him.
Like my dad. Okay, so look, my dad's older brother, he's a musician. Like he plays drums.
Yes.
He plays like he's just so musical talented.
Like he's just like
he has the ability built different. He's that guy.
See it, yeah.
Yeah,
like not
dude,
how everybody can't
YouTube.
have like the hairs on their arms stand up. Not everyone can have that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's like that. And then my dad is also, he's very creative, very entrepreneur. My dad's very smart. Like, I don't care. Like, dude, you can't knock dad. Like, dad had a grind. But again, it was no numbers, more this. So like but then he has another brother. And then like, it's just weird seeing all three of them talk to each other and how they look pretty similar. But it was just like, it just like made me realize like, holy cow, dude, dude, we were outside watching YouTube videos, drinking beers with my uncles, and then the rest of the family was inside. They're all talking, whatever. But I was just out there with my dad, and it was just like that. Like, dude, I've never hung out with these people, and we're all just like, we just knew it was the same vibe. And then I started thinking, I'm like, dude, this is exactly what I do in the weekends, bro. And I don't know why. I don't know how it makes me feel better, but then I'm like, dude, it's like in my DNA, like doing that and how finding relaxation, music. Like I love music. I love being creative. I love being. And it's like, it just showed like, I'm like, oh, dude, there's like it just gave me more roots. Like without doing the 23andMe, it just gave me more like, it just made me perspective of like, you know, like how I am, the way I am.
We were just talking a little bit earlier about like, as you get, I mean, you don't necessarily have to get older. I think just as you start to
experience more
or just see like, oh, I've kind of been in this situation before and I want to change it, like not falling into older habits or something like that. We were just talking about like, you start to unplug and then you start to see like, oh, like, yeah, no one ever died from not meeting a deadline. You know what I mean? Like there's things that are important, but at the same time, like that's like experiences like what you're having in El Salvador, seeing your family and having that realization and just seeing like where you come from. Like that's living. Yeah. Like that's sucking life. Like that's enjoying life, right? Dude. And you don't have to go to El Salvador to feel that either. Of course not. You can feel that in like we can feel that now in moments of like podcasting or like really thinking about talking about things like, oh wow, well that's actually really true. And then you learn something about yourself. There are pockets of these moments everywhere. I know. Everywhere. You just gotta
start digging at it.
Just start digging at it. Yeah. Like break the routine up a little bit. Like you don't have to come home and keep doing the same thing and feeling miserable. What makes you happy? Yeah. And it's something simple like listening to music.
And then like, and not even that, just like, I know me and my father are a lot closer now. Like we've always been close. He's always been my dad. I've never had a problem with my dad, but just that alone was just like, it just, again, put me in more perspective. Like
you see him more as human. More as human. Not as this figure that you have that like corrected you or brought you up or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I still have a figure for him that I have respect. He is my father. But again, it's like more in a level playing field that I'm like, hey, you're a grown adult. You had a family. You made successful kids. I have an adult. Like I'm an adult now. I'm married and I have, you know, a great daughter. Like, hey, you did it. Like now it's like, now that we're seeing how my dad's like the grandpa and he's like telling me like, hey, I was this like that with you. Like, don't be like that with her. And I'm like, oh, no. So it's like, it's almost like we have, we just got a stronger relationship with that.
That's great.
And it was amazing.
That's cool that your dad talks to you and says that, like, you know, I was like this with you. So,
and it wasn't always like that, dude. It's just now, like, again, now I'm realizing, you know, like, hey, dude, you only got probably what, 20 more years from our parents. Yeah. That's it. Like that, there's no more. And like, I saw this thing that's talking about, like, if you look at time and if you really add up the numbers of how averagely people see their parents, how many times are you going to see? It's really not, that's like not that much. 6. So like the fact that I was able to do that, my brother and dude, and I even made a joke. I'm like, hey, now we know as men, all of us, if we go on a family vacation, whole family, all three of us can look at each other and be like, all right, it's not our fault. any issues, any problems, any being late, any like, dude, it's not our fault,
So
bro.
you guys just chilled.
We just chilled. We
That's
literally,
good.
so we just did sightseeing.
That's good.
There was that cup that you were drinking last one was the Puerta del Diablo. So that itself was like a highway, and then it was just a huge pier. So like it was just a rock cliff into like a valley. But that whole area, like I talked to my mom, and she was like, that like was like kind of like the meetup. Like we're like high school, like, oh, we're gonna go Puerta del Diablo, like, oh, I'm gonna take her there, and so that was
we're gonna go to the Waterford Lakes Town Center.
yeah, but it wasn't a thing. It was just like a highway, and people just knew of it. Now they've made it in like a concrete pad, and they put like a big patio that's
that
all
almost
glass.
sucks a little bit.
It does kind of suck, but
Yeah.
then back then it was also so dangerous. So it was like you went, and it was kind of like a thing.
Yeah.
But now they've made this site that you can see, like, you know, a little bit more commercial. But dude, it's gorgeous up there. So it's like, again, you're just noticing finally like everything that like country had to offer. It's like now it's finally showing.
Yeah.
And I'm Salvadorian, and if you asked me anything about it, I didn't know anything about it, dude. I was
think
just like, I just know it's over there and we make pupusas. That's all all
Yeah.
it was. But like the way we talk, like our accents, the jokes, all that, I was like, it's just a different whole tempo.
See,
but
like,
it's cool.
I never connected to my like heritage growing up because I grew up in a very like Americanized home.
Exactly. Yeah, you did.
It was very American dream.
Because
like,
they're
style.
Yeah, your parents are Spanish,
They
but
never
they are
speak to
very.
me. Yeah, they never. That's their first language. It's not my first language. Like it was almost like we just never spoke that in the house. We always just
They're
spoke
We're from where? From New York?
Brooklyn and the Bronx. Yeah.
Because your parents don't have like they don't have any. Dude, if you're on the phone with them, they're just
No, they're full
American.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they sound American, but then they speak full
That is
Spanish.
true. Yeah,
Full Spanish.
your dad's really yeah. They both
Yeah. My dad says things backwards too, a little bit like how you do.
yeah.
So, but like that's something that I never got to connect to. So the closest thing I got to that was going to Ecuador. And even then, like that was 7 years ago, right?
Mhm.
I wish I'd like to go back now and see and experience it and stay in one spot. Like my favorite part was the mountains.
The mountains are just
The mountains
if-
in Ecuador, bro.
we
There was
live here in
clouds.
Florida.
Yeah.
So like you guys, there's not that. I mean, there's sightseeing, there's beaches, but everything is flat here.
It's the cesspool of America.
Yeah, like you know, everyone's here. It's just. I'm so happy with that whole spring break thing. Everything seems like their cops are breaking down, but it's just bonkers
Bro.
over here. But it's so flat. So even if you go like trails, we're gonna start hitting with more trails.
Yeah.
But you're probably gonna notice that it's like creeks, more like wilderness.
Springs.
But like, dude,
Springs
you hit
are
the
pretty cool.
mountains, dude. Just
There is nothing like it. It is my favorite.
I'm jealous if you just stare at mountains every single
Bro,
day.
have you? Oh,
It's
I
the
gotta
most
show you-
beautiful
I
thing
for-
to see.
It's
They're
not.
gorgeous.
It's not Grandfather Mount. It's not that. It's the higher, like 2,000 feet elevation above that. That's the trail I went on. I'll show it to you.
Nice.
But when I got up there, bro, I was like in awe because I just finished climbing these ladders where like if you fell, you fell. It was done.
Yeah.
So I was like hugging it all the way up. But like when I got up there, there's this like shock of like, oh my god, I'm too high up, and then you start to settle
Your
in
legs
and
shake a little bit.
you shake. You start
Nice.
like
Fight the demons, bro. You're
bro,
good. You're good.
it was
You're fine.
crazy. It's like, you know what? You're safe. You will get back down. Everyone gets back down. And so after you have that realization, you just sit there and it's quiet and
Yeah.
there's nothing up there. And you're forced to just sit there and breathe. Breathe in like the mountain air. You're like, wow, this is the world, not this.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
It's just it's gorgeous. No, it's something
Think
that like
deeply.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally something that you know got me more like I gotta start doing this more. I gotta start getting out more.
Yeah.
Just because again, I like that perspective. That's like okay, work. We do this. We do like you know we have our everyday. But dude, that to me was a huge unplug of just like, dude, those hikes, man. I'm telling you, the volcano hike that I did. That Choro hike, we did one to Punta Gorda. Oh, I don't forget what the other volcano was called, but we did it, you know, small hike there. And it was just to just do all that. It feels good to like work hard. And like, you're like, oh, okay, I just gotta keep going. I can go. Everyone else is going. And then you get up there and it's just like to see,
Yeah.
like, I have a video I'm going to show you. That's literally like the volcano was so deep that when you're up on the top and you're looking down, you see birds just as small as like when you see them up in the air.
Whoa.
And then you see birds just down there just flying.
like
You're
an
just like,
infinite hole.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like this massive pit that's like, and just knowing that for some reason that can just break and then just destroy. Like, it's just like, again, it's just, it's almost like you're nothing compared to nature. Like this is like next, like this is like it just shows how like my worries about like stressing out
It's
about
so,
stupid stuff means it just doesn't mean anything. It's just
Yeah.
like, dude, this is legitimately like such
The
a
world
strong
still-
like yeah.
the world still spins, like the sun still goes up, the moon still is
Yep.
there. Like
The birds still fly every single day. It's
you
just
won't
like
die
every,
from not meeting that deadline. Not to say be lazy, but like man,
of course
like
not.
there's so much beyond just this.
But yeah, so we did that. What else we did? I mean, we went to this one hotel. That was what was it called? I ended up posting it on Instagram, and then but it was kind of like a very modern hotel. Dang, dude, it sounds really stupid for me not to say what it is, because then I
That
sound
happens
dumb.
to me too.
Just know that I enjoyed it. You know, Maui. There it is, Maui Beach House.
Maui Beach House.
Yeah, so we ended up going there, and it was that's this spot.
Okay.
So then
Oh
like
yeah.
so then that spot, so yeah, it's just very, you know, then you see how touristy it is. It's just like African Americans
It's
there,
going on a
like
cruise. Do you
European
like
people
cruises
there.
still?
I think I'll probably go one more. I'll give it one more shot. I've always liked cruises.
No, I
So
don't like
now as I'm
cruises.
getting older, I think I'm probably not going to like them, and I'm
Have you
realizing
seen how
that,
big the ocean is?
oh, well, I'm not worried about
Can you
that.
imagine if you get stuck out there?
I'm not worried about that. Dude, to me at that point I'm like, if we're stuck out there, that's just, hey, I'm just an anomaly, and I'm just a
Statistic.
fraction. Yeah, I'm a statistic at that point.
You're just a statistic.
I'm just like, yeah, it's just, you know, there's literally nothing you can do unless you're waiting for someone to come out. But on the cruise, I feel like now I'm like getting more like, I'd rather just like my own private like more hotel, more.
I'd
going
rather
out.
just get like an Airbnb somewhere nice.
I know, man.
Joe, that's what we should do. We'll do Caleb's Airbnb in Georgia
Okay.
and do a podcast episode. Just us and the wives, no kids.
Okay.
You think the kids would like that? I think the kids would be fine. There's a pool on that one.
I don't know. What do they die, dude? Actually, we'll get back to it because we're about to be going up there next week.
To this Airbnb?
Mm-hmm.
To Caleb's?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
That's where we're going. The March 20th to the 23rd.
Okay.
So,
I want to do that.
So I'm gonna go check it out. Shout out to Caleb, my boy.
Yeah.
That house looks beautiful. I'm so proud of you. What you did, making money moves. Caleb's the wave.
Lone Ninja on Instagram.
Loan Ninja on Instagram. If you guys need a loan for your house, talk to him.
We'll put
Literally,
his
he
stuff
got
down
me
below.
this house.
Yeah.
He's gonna get him his house. But anyways, but yeah, the experience was dope. It's something else that like I'm looking forward to go back and just like it's just another thing that I've opened up that I just I'm more curious about, and I'll probably do some more soul searching about it.
Dude, that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. It's like exploring different parts of yourself.
Yeah.
You might start cooking more Spanish food.
Dude,
You might start speaking more
I
Spanish.
I do that. No, I have been. I've been practicing a lot more. I bought like a coffee, like you know how they just it's just like hot brewed, and then they just put it
Like
on
drip
top of it
coffee.
and drip. Yeah, that's what it is, drip coffee.
You get inspired by the culture.
And like for instance, like for me, like all right, so Salvadorian food, like típico, which is like typical breakfast. Growing up in California, always was, like I'll say like it's almost like refried beans, but not really. They're just black beans, but just liquefied black beans.
That sounds
So
so,
it's
good.
almost
With
like-
ham hocks in it.
So it's almost like
Sounds so
it's
good.
almost it's not refried because refried I think they use like a brown bean or something. I don't know, but it's that, and then it was like maybe some eggs, plátanos, which are plantains,
Yep. That
and
sounds
then
great.
just bought like a piece of like French bread with some sour cream. That was
With
our
sour cream.
yeah.
On
So,
the
and then
French
you
bread.
mix the sour cream with the beans, and you go like that.
I can
and
see.
then
And then you just like
you already know. You already
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
so that was typical. I moved over here. No one ever ate that, and I was like, oh,
for me it was white rice left over
Ah, okay.
with a runny egg on top
Yep.
and a piece of toast. That was my
That was like your
that was a typical like we still had Spanish food growing up.
Correct.
For sure. Like we didn't do like a lot. We cooked a lot. My dad cooked a lot. So it was always a lot of like carne asada and white rice with plátanos or tostones. Like it was always that.
Mhm.
And beans, lots of beans with ham hocks, brown
and
beans.
that food just like
Yeah.
it was just cool to like So again, that's it's called desayuno típico, which is like
Yeah.
typical breakfast that you can buy anywhere. It's like $3.50, and then you just get the same plate. And I'm like, oh, dude,
Dude, that sounds so good.
but
right
it's
now.
so
I
good
want
to
La
like
Granja
eat.
right
It was
now.
just so weird eating that food, and like just like memory, like my taste buds were like, oh my god, you haven't had this in so long. It was just so cool to like
it's
see
cool.
how like the food was just like
Finally, not fast
Yeah,
food for once.
yeah,
Finally,
yeah.
we talked about Spanish food instead of Wendy's on this episode.
yeah, or any dump fast food. But yeah, dudes, but it was overall pretty dope.
Awesome, man.
So I'm looking forward to making my way back out there, and I'll let you guys know what else I find out about it.
Cool. Sweet.
But other than that, I think we're done for today, boys. We're gonna be heading out. Thank you for Mama and Papa Bears out there for listening. Again, listen. If you guys like this, what you heard, pretty much give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss an episode.
Leave us a rating on Spotify.
Okay.
Thanks.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Love you guys.
Later.